Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Choicest Fruits podcast. How are you doing? I'm here with my co-host,
Yes.
Mac Laird.
We are back.
Officially.
We are back.
It's been too long.
Woo.
So,
Yeah.
Mac, do you want to tell us what happened, buddy?
Yeah, we got a quick story time. So we actually recorded 2 fire episodes
Good.
last week. No,
2
we don't even
weeks
know
ago.
how long it was. Is it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
And my computer decided to break completely. Stupid.
Gone.
Stupid.
Do you still have it or no?
I have it. Yeah, it just doesn't work. It doesn't boot up.
You're not going to do a show and tell?
No, I can't.
Oh, okay.
It's too late.
It's too late.
But it just literally broke. So I couldn't post the episodes, and I didn't have them even, like, edited that they were ready to post. So
Yeah.
we had to go without posting.
For a
So
little
you
bit.
guys missed Upload Monday.
Yeah, upload Mondays. Officially,
Stupid.
we're officially saying that.
Officially Upload Mondays.
Uploading every Monday.
Yeah, that's so our goal was actually to get out 2 episodes every Monday
To start.
for the first few weeks.
Yeah.
And so you could get into it and have more content to listen to.
Yeah.
But obviously that failed. So anyways, we got the MacBook Pro now,
Yeah.
cooking and working great. So we're back in business.
Back.
We're back.
Okay, so
So,
the episodes that may never come out because we don't know if we can get them were about
Working on it.
we're working
but-
on it. But they were about politics in the church, and it actually ended up
Yeah.
being a really convicting for me personally. I don't know about you.
Yep.
Yeah, but
It was. It was.
we ended up talking about how we should just treat everybody, right? And how we're all created in the image of God. And
Yeah.
I really hope we can get them out to you. But
Yeah.
that sparked the idea for us to have a little series that we're going to do about relationships. And
Yeah.
but for the first episode, which would be today, we would talk about relationship with God, because that's where it all starts.
Mhm.
And that's where it all should stem from, is the relationship you have with God.
Yes.
And in order to have relationships with other people and even yourself, it should all stem with the relationship you have with God. And it's kind of a reflector. But yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we were thinking of is I'll do the outline. So the first episode, relationship with God. Second episode is going to be a relationship with yourself. And third is relationship with other people. And we did it that way in order because that's the order that it should be. Like, that's the order of importance, is relationship with God is first. That's your top thing. That has to be good for anything else to be good. And then your relationship with yourself, we'll talk about that. And then obviously the other ones we'll talk about in the other episodes. Yeah. But to kind of open up, we were going to talk about why it's important to have a relationship with God. Because we'll kind of outline this in case you're also new to the faith, too. Like, why is it actually important to have a relationship with God?
Yeah. Going off that, I guess there's this thing that I saw. It's called Pascal's wager. And to summarize it, it says, if you live without God and he exists, you lose everything.
Mm.
And if you live with him and he doesn't exist, you still have gained peace, hope, and purpose.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's called Pascal's wager. But essentially, I mean, it makes a good point of why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're asking the question,
true.
why have a relationship with God? And Pascal's wager is basically just saying, why not?
Right.
You know what I mean? It'll bring fruit in your life, and it'll bring forth choicest fruits. So...
Good old fake laugh.
Yeah, good old. But yeah, so basically, yeah, and I mean, humans, as humans, we're all created to relate with others. In the Genesis account, God saw that, man was lonely, and he made him another human to be with, because we are creatures that crave interaction and relationship. But the only relationship that actually will be fulfilling is the one that we have with God.
Exactly. Yeah. I was just going to say something about relationships, but I'll say that for the other podcast, because that's going to be the third episode. But I think it's interesting, though, you mentioned about like why not
Mm-hmm.
to have a relationship with God.
Yeah.
And I kind of outline it because obviously, like, I haven't shared my testimony on the podcast, but, you know, I've tried a lot of things, you know, and running from God and not living to that standard of life. And so I've, like, tasted what the world tastes, you know what I mean? And so why not to have a relationship with God? It would be, a lot of times people say because, like, freedom. Like, you get freedom to do whatever you want. Like, you don't have to have this moral code hanging over you. You get to be, you can sleep with whoever you want. You can, like, take whatever substance you want. You know, there's no conviction in that sense, really. And it comes basically, like, to your preferences is just basically doing whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
So I think you have something to say about that.
Yeah.
too.
So actually, before I bring up the verse, because and again, we're Bible college students. I know we haven't been around enough to say that, but so in our one course, History of Ancient Israel, we at this current moment we're talking about the judges and the period of the judges and how chaotic it was. Oh.
Water bottle fell.
Waterfall.
Nice.
Waterfall.
Good.
Okay.
Waterfall.
But basically, this period that the judges were in, it was so chaotic.
Yeah.
It was terrible, right? Like, they just conquered the land, like Joshua in the book of Joshua. They just conquered Canaan, the northern part. And, like, they were doing what they were told to do, you know. God has, told them in that covenant that he made with Moses, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. And they're getting there, right? They're slowly fulfilling what the plan was that God had for them. And then you look at the book of Judges, and it all goes downhill. Literally in the first chapter, it says they lost that land.
Exactly.
Because they weren't good stewards of what they had. You know? And right here at the end of Judges, it also mentions it in chapter 17, but right here in Judges 21:25, it says, in those days, there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. And, like, with that, like, the whole, like, community lost that covenantal unity they shared with each other.
Yeah.
Because they disregarded it entirely. And, I mean, look at our society today. We don't all share that same, like, common covenantal unity with everybody. And that's why, like, groups form, you know what I mean? Like, we look throughout everything, right? Like, we see patriotism is super big, you know, because it's a people under a covenant.
Yeah.
Right? In a sense, like the U.S.
Or just the structure.
Freedom, right? Like the freedom the U.S. grants, people, like, thrive under that, and they strive for it.
Yeah.
And they'll fight for it.
American dream.
Yeah. And then Israel, that's what they were doing. With Moses, I mean, obviously there was the groaning, complaining for you.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that. It didn't happen.
That could come up later, too.
It did happen.
Maybe.
But yeah, it could. But this right here, it says there was no king in Israel.
Yeah.
Right? And if we apply that, make it more applicable to ourselves, they didn't have a king or something they were seeking, and they ended up seeking themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't have that relationship upwards, which is why it all fell apart and all failed.
Yep. Well, this is not going to be good apologetics, because if you don't believe in God, then it doesn't mean anything to you. But I will say that we are all created with a need for God, for a God in our lives.
Yeah.
Right? And God is a gracious God because he doesn't make that him, right? He doesn't make us choose him. And like we're talking about a relationship with God, he doesn't make us have a relationship with God. But we are made with that desire, with that, like, I would say need. Like, it's a need. Like, you need to have something kind of sitting on the throne in your heart. Like, I think it's cool how they say a king. So there was no king in Israel. So if you don't have the king, you know, there's a song too, like the king of my heart. Yeah. If there's no king on the throne of your heart, basically, then you're going to end up putting yourself there in a way, or your desires, or you could even put other people there sometimes, and that's really our need for God. Obviously, like I said, if you're not a Christian, then that doesn't hold much weight, but we all have that need wired in us. And so, like it says there, basically, if you don't have something on the throne of your heart, then, there's no king in Israel. People just did what was right in their own eyes, in their own sight. So.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's really good. But, yeah, why? That's kind of like, I guess, what happens if you don't have a relationship with God.
Yep.
But, like, I guess starting with that was probably see what doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Now you have to say yes.
Right.
No, no, but
yeah.
Yeah. So, what does happen?
Well, I think back to the garden, and I'll go into history just a little bit, because if you think back to the garden, it says that God walked with them through the garden, and that's wild. That's before Jesus came down to earth. That was God walking among them. We don't know exactly what that looked like, if that was physical, if that was more of his presence going with them or something. But that's how he designed it. That was God's design, and then we ruined it. Because we did what was right in our own eyes. Well, Eve did.
And Adam also ate it.
And that was the big part, because through one man sin entered the world. And then we know eventually through one man, Jesus, the sin left the world.
Killed. Death died. He's dead.
Okay. So because of that, it's this I would say, what was your question?
Why? Have a relationship with God.
Part of the reason is just because we can, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's what I was getting to with Jesus. When Jesus came, he tore the veil. And one of my favorite passages of Scripture is 2 Corinthians 3, where he's talking about the greater glory of the new covenant. And having a relationship with God is basically the new covenant. And there he's talking about the veil that was over people's eyes was lifted, right? And they said, like, to this day when people read like the teachings of Moses or whatever, they have the veil over their eyes, like metaphorically. They have a veil over their eyes. But when people come to the Lord, that veil is taken away. And it says, now we all with unveiled face, beholding the glory of the Lord. And the word is to see and reflect.
Yeah.
And are being transformed into his image in ever-increasing glory, or from glory to glory. And that is why you would have a relationship with God. Obviously, we'll dive into it more in the next episode, but part of it is because we can, and part of it is also because it transforms you.
Yeah.
So.
And literally scientifically, it's been proven that having upkeeping and maintaining a relationship with God,
yes,
will actually bring more peace into your life.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called specifically, what part of the brain, but when you pray, it uses the part of your brain that is granted, like, it gives you peace. Like, that's what that part of the brain does.
Yeah.
And it turns off the part of the brain that has anxiety and gives anxiety. So it's literally proven that having a relationship with God does that. And the thing of it is, I mentioned that prayer does that, but I guess that's something I would want to talk about, is how to upkeep and maintain that relationship. And
what are those things? What does that look like practically? I think we'll get into that probably in a few minutes, unless you want to dive in now.
I mean, we can.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Go for it. I mean, I feel like that's probably a decent amount of laying the ground for that, of and it's pretty simple too. Why should you have a relationship with God?
Yeah.
Like, because he sent his son so that you could have a relationship with him, so that we didn't have to, entertain all of the laws and covenants and everything that they had to in that day, so that we could actually choose him and be free to choose him and be free to talk to him and just enter in. So, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Let's just go to relationship 101. Any professional relationship, friendship, romantic relationship.
Yep.
Any. This like covers all of it. And I guess we'll talk about it again when we go to the relationship with others. But the only way to keep up with a relationship is to talk with that person, with that said person on the other side of the relationship, and have, like, Mac, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yes.
You know how, like, high school or even here, like college, people are like, oh, we gotta do something over the summer. Let's stay in touch. I have not talked to them.
Yeah.
It's just what happens.
You lose connection.
Right?
Yeah.
And you lose that connection and that vulnerability also. Like, you feel like we're talking about, like, the deep stuff again because you haven't talked to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And same thing with God. And the wonderful thing about God is that he isn't human. Good.
Yes.
Yeah, really good. He doesn't have that tendency, or I don't even think he's capable of ignoring. I don't think that's in his nature at all.
Yeah.
He isn't going to give you the cold shoulder or leave you on red. He's going to answer.
Well, he's all knowing too.
Yeah.
It's like like you said, he doesn't even have the capacity to do that. He just is there. He's with us. He's in us. If you're born again, he's in you.
Facts.
And
do it.
Yeah.
Do it right now.
That's one practical application. But yeah.
Yeah. So having that relationship and having that conversation and upholding communication between that person is going to do that. And God doesn't have the ability to, like, in his nature, he doesn't have that capacity to ignore you or just leave you unheard.
Yep.
I will say, that's something I always struggled with. Because I was like, oh yeah, me and God are great. I'll read my Bible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I never, like, talked to him. It's a relationship.
Yep.
It's that back and forth. Like, you can literally talk with him, and he will answer you.
Yeah.
The way we talk to him is in prayer, and he's always willing to listen to you.
Yep.
And he's always willing to respond to you.
Yep.
But how do we listen as well for that? And that's another thing. Prayer, like, taking that first step and having that conversation with God is a huge first step. But also having that time to listen.
Yep.
Is really big as well.
It is. Yeah, because we were actually just talking in class this morning, in my Prophets of Israel class. We had a group discussion, and our question was about Jeremiah 20. And Jeremiah is, like, complaining to God, basically, and kind of blaming God for the persecution that he's facing. And the question was basically, like, is it okay for him to talk to God like that? And my first thought was, well, I've prayed worse prayers than that. Like, when things were going rough in my life, I have sworn at God. I have yelled in my car, punching the roof, and, like, crying and everything. And our professor said, that is, of course, okay. But that's actually what God desires. God doesn't desire fake spirituality.
Yeah.
God does not desire
being real.
Your false face or false front. Like, he wants you to be real. And that's why the Israelites could not enter into the promise, is because they went to Moses to complain instead of going to God. Right? He didn't want them not to complain necessarily. He wanted them to come to him. Yeah. Right? And so if we come to him, he is more than willing to listen to our genuine heart, to whatever we're struggling with. Because, again, he already knows, but he wants to hear it from us. He wants to hear our heart. And, I feel like I was going to say something else. I forgot. What were you saying just before I said that?
Relationship with God.
Well, yes, but
Oh, that also is just the whole episode.
yeah, about praying and listening. So,
Yep.
a way that I'm trying to do this in my life is I deleted Instagram, and that doesn't mean that you have to delete Instagram, but I do think that that's something that you could do as a practical step
Yep.
if you feel like that's something that's speaking too much into your life, maybe, or that you're just spending too much time with. And that's kind of why I did it, is because after a while you get to realize that there's so much noise and clutter, and if you kind of weed that out, it doesn't have to be Instagram, that could be whatever, but kind of cutting that out temporarily, and instead replacing it, not just cutting it out and just be like, okay, well, I'm not going to have Instagram for a week, but you could say, okay, and this is what I'm doing, is I'm going to cut out Instagram, and I am going to, instead, every time I think of like scrolling, I will talk to God, I will pray. And that's one thing practically that I'll say it has helped me a little bit. The other thing I would say is, as far as hearing from God, sometimes I know that I'll even open up prayer with being like, okay, Lord, just speak to me. I'm listening. And I'll sit there and try to be quiet. I'll try to quiet my mind down, but nothing ever happens, and I'll just sit there. But then there's times when I open the Bible and I read it, and I know he's speaking to me through his word, right? And that's something to emphasize, because the Bible is not just, it's not different from God's voice, right? It's not different from God speaking to us. It is the word of God.
Yeah.
It's just in a different form, right? Like, he could speak to you. He could maybe give you visions or dreams or something. But he has already spoken a lot to us in his word. Exactly. And so if you open that up and read too, and not just going through it and just reading, like, to check off a box, but if you open up with prayer and maybe say, like, hey, Lord, I invite you into this time. Come and speak to me through what you did. And sometimes the Lord will even drop like certain chapter and verse, or usually just a chapter, like a book and a chapter on my mind that sometimes seems weird, but I'm like, hey, I will listen, and I'm going to read that. And he usually, I would say he's never failed to like speak something to my life that meant something through that.
Yeah. When you're talking about, you're like, just speak to me, I'm listening. When you pray that immediately made me think of 1 Samuel 3, which is when God literally calls for Samuel, and like, it's genuinely like he wants to talk with Samuel. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And if we put ourselves in the shoes of Samuel here, right? Like, you're sleeping, it's night. Mm-hmm. You're sleeping. It's dark. You probably hear the crickets outside, Yeah. Samuel. What the heck? Oh, let me go check. Eli must be calling for me. Dad.
I don't know.
Eli must be calling for me. And then he goes to Eli. He's like, hey, what's up, bro? You called me? No, I did not. Go back to bed. Oh, okay. He goes back to bed. Maybe it was just a dream. He woke up. He's like, just a dream.
Yeah.
Goes and lays down. Samuel. What the heck is going on? It's not the crickets. They're still going. I hear the crickets.
Yeah.
Goes back to Eli. You called for me again? Nuh-uh. Lays down. Third time. Samuel. He's probably like, oh my gosh, here we go again. He's probably like getting up. All right, like, be real. I know you're calling me, bro.
Yeah.
Eli's like, no. But then it clicks to Eli. I think God's talking to you.
Yeah.
Right? I think God's talking to you. Next time you hear it, go and say, here I am, God. Your servant is listening.
Yeah.
Right? Samuel goes and lays down. Samuel, here I am. Your servant is listening. And then God literally speaks to Samuel. Mm-hmm. and puts a call on his life.
Yeah.
Simply because he had that relationship conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he upheld that relationship. But one thing I want to point out about Samuel is at this time he's still a child.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And having that childlike faith where we're just always running after him and seeking him. There was this one time, my sister, shout out my family, my sister and I, we were chilling at our like dining room table. We're coloring in like this coloring book.
Yeah.
And there was baby carrots.
Good.
Right?
Yeah.
Baby carrots. And also ranch. You know.
Of course. Well, you can't have
baby carrot
yeah.
without ranch. And this is when she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And my other sister and my mom, Beth and my mom were gone. So Delilah, it was me and Delilah at the table. My dad was in the living room. And we're, just eat a carrot, color a little bit, eat a carrot, color a little bit.
Yep.
Delilah, she goes like this, picks up the carrot, bites her finger. Just bit it. So you know what she did? Cried.
Well, yeah.
She cried. I shouldn't be laughing at that. But you know what she did? She ran to my dad.
Right.
I bit my finger. And my dad cared for her.
Yeah.
Like she ran to God when she ran to my dad when something was wrong, to apply that to our lives, right? Something happens, we run to God. But don't only run to God when it's a big problem.
Yeah.
You can run to him when you're frustrated.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about Jeremiah, right?
Yeah, please do.
You can run to him
exactly
when you bite your finger. I'm being serious. You can go to God if your finger hurts.
Yeah.
Because you bit it.
Seriously.
Instead of a baby carrot.
Yep. Yep.
But the comfort that you will receive from that is so, it's beyond measure.
Yep.
It literally, in the Bible, it says peace that passes all understanding, because it's like you can't explain it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the kind of love that he has for us. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot we could probably talk about, but it's like, we cover the basics, hopefully, of like, that's how, well, that's why it's important. And then that's also, we gave you like some practical things that you can do. Yeah. So I don't know, I'll close us out in prayer. And,
do you want to just pray for that? Just to just have an experience in a moment
an encounter
where we need to have an encounter with God and we realize it. And this goes for believers and non-believers that end up coming across this, because if you're a non-believer, we just pray and we agree in prayer that we just really want you to have an encounter and spark that conversation with him to have that relationship.
Exactly.
And if you already are a believer and a follower, we're just going to pray quick that you do go deeper in that relationship. Yeah, definitely. So Lord, I just want to pray for whoever's listening to this podcast right now, God, that you would just quite literally meet them where they are at. Father, that you would make yourself real to them for the 100th time or for the first time. Yeah. And I even think of people listening to this who are kind of growing lukewarm in their walk with you. Yeah. And I pray for them, Lord, that they would have an incredible encounter where they cannot deny it anymore. I think of the song, I cannot deny what I've seen. I have no choice but to believe. Yeah. Lord, help that be the truth and the reality for people's lives, Lord. I pray that you would show yourself, Lord, in whatever way you want to, that you would make yourself real, that you would make yourself known, that you would speak to people, Lord, that you would call people, that you would have encounters with these people, Lord, that are your beloved sons and daughters. I pray this in your name. Amen. Amen. So yeah, we'll see you guys for the part 2. Part 2, episode 2 of Relationships. Yes. Series. All right. Have a blessed day. Bless you all.